Hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing discussion. And this time is with Flo and some other amazing audience that we have with us from Tis Discuss and also from Flo as well. And we're here to discuss a very, very important topic that is really something that, the world needs to know about, and we teenagers are ready to take on that topic and discuss it today. I have with me here some amazing people, individuals, Joy, Jana, Mariam, Yusuf, Adia, and Ireyimika. So nice to meet you all. So let's introduce our two representatives from Flow. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Joy and she's Jana. We're co-founders of Flow. Flow is an initiative that, in order to fight especially in the Bekaa Valley, will provide women in need female hygienic kits to manage their menstruation in the healthiest ways possible.
Hello, my name is Jana. I would like to add that we also believe that by offering the proper education and awareness, this public health crisis that we tend to keep private will become a better reality. Thank you.
Amazing one. You can see what these teenagers are taking on. This is really amazing and needs so much more recognition right now because it's really important that we provide these essential utilities to women all around the world. So yeah, we are here to discuss a very important topic, like I said earlier, and today we are discussing periods, period poverty, and period discrimination. This is something that is affecting almost every female in the world right now. And we would like to start off with an icebreaker. Anyone from the Flow community to explain what period poverty and period discrimination is all about.
Okay, so period poverty is defined as inadequate access to menstrual products and hygiene. Each year, around 8.1 million of these females are unable to have access to these menstrual products and also to live their menstrual cycle in a healthy and dignified way. So this is period poverty.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful explanation. As you guys are learning right now, we have learned our period poverty. So I think we can just move on to Joy to explain period discrimination.
Okay, so period discrimination is the stigma around people around periods because people still see it as a taboo subject, like it's something that you can't talk about in public. It's something you can consider it shameful to talk about, or like when you're carrying your pads from the supermarket, you put it in a black bag because like people are not supposed to see you carrying it. So I think this is a part of the discrimination around period.
Exactly. I want to agree because when I was in high school, some representative from this like sanitary pad company came to like address females on female hygiene and everything. And we were so ashamed to like bring all those sanitary towels to the class because they were like laughing and mocking us. And I was like, okay, this is something normal. Why are we being made to feel ashamed of this? And something that's really confusing, to be honest. I would like to ask from our audience what you think about this period discrimination and stuff. What is your stance on this issue?
Okay, so
Yeah, I
hello,
can
am
hear.
I audible?
Yes.
So basically, in our society, most females like we're somehow ashamed or something to that the period matter in public, and like for instance, girls are forced to use code words or something like that. They can't openly talk about their periods, or when a girl gets a period or something, so she cannot be in public. She is forced to stay isolated and etc. So it's like stigmatization and all that. So it's really what should I say? Really it's like it hurts a lot because like as a woman or as a girl, like this is very natural, and like people make it so awkward, make it so abnormal, while getting periods is something normal and something very natural. So the society takes it in a very unbelievable manner, and like it makes you feel so ashamed getting periods. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Miriam. If we listen to what she said very well, she pointed out something very important. It is very normal, and it's something that I really want to highlight to everyone watching. It is normal. Please don't make women feel ashamed or feel like they have to isolate themselves because of something that is absolutely natural. So thank you very much, Miriam, for such important words. So okay, Rayemi, how do you want to contribute?
Yes, yes, I like to contribute. Aside from, you made mention of something about high school. And I also have a similar experience when I was still in high school. The time things was always, it came to my school then and distributed parts. And then we were in class and the guys are just mocking us and laughing like why are we bringing it out, stuff like that. And aside from that, another problem in period discrimination that we really don't take serious is the fact that even parents also support it. Is the fact that when we're in the public or we are mixed guys in the midst of boys, they won't like girls are always ashamed or they hate it when girls talk about menstruation, when you mention the word menstruation or they mention the word period or I'm having, because even in school, even in school when you're having on your period and you're having cramps and you have a male teacher teaching you, it'll be you feel so ashamed to tell them that also I'm having menstrual pain, and it's very annoying because when you even say it out, everybody will look at you that why did you just say that menstrual? The way you said it, I'm like it's natural. Like why should I feel ashamed of saying something like that? Yes, I'm having menstrual cramps. What do you want to do about it? So it's something most people don't take serious. Like saying the word menstruation pad or when you mention the word vagina generally, like vagina care, vagina, like it's more like they feel like it's a dirty word, and it's not. It's just our natural thing.
Oh my God, Mika just broke the table right now with facts, actually, because this is one of the reasons I was entered in high school because I talked about these things a lot without any shame. And even more, we have to be honest, even some girls make it so easy for guys to feel like it's something of shame. If we girls can be so confident in it and just talk about it with confidence, people will be like, okay, I think this is something so natural. Why do we even feel like need to make them feel ashamed? So I think we girls also need to step up and feel confident about this issue so they too can know that, okay, yeah, it's natural. Adia.
Okay, I just wanted to share a thought I had in mind whenever I went to school. So I go to an all-girls school, okay? But even in my school, when you know that the students' bathroom, only girls use the students' bathroom, but why don't we have like any emergency sanitary products in case of any girls gets her period suddenly at school? I mean, I think that's something pretty necessary because, yeah, I've seen many of my friends like suddenly have their periods and at the school when they were not prepared. So I don't really know why. Like, isn't it as important as tissues? Like, it should be in normal bathrooms, just like tissues.
Literally, you just brought me back to my high school. We literally do, if you have to bring it from home, and some people are struggling with buying this stuff, and yes, they can't even have access to this. This is something that our government needs to look into. Like it's as important as first aid. To be very honest, it's like first aid, and you go to your school. There's no sanitary pads or anything to just help you, and I feel like we females are just suffering alone every day. Mika, do you want to add on?
Yes, I just want to add to what she said. Well, yes, exactly. Only few schools actually take this seriously. Okay, the high school I attended, my first high school, right? My first 4 years in high school I attended. We had like sanitary pads in our first aid box. And then I was like the health prefect, so I was in charge of that. And I made sure everyone, like I made sure the school, it was when I became the health prefect, the school implemented that. So I feel like if we all should raise our voices, every we all find ourselves like, okay, you find yourself in a new environment, probably in a new school, and or you went and you find yourself probably in a leadership position, probably as a prefect, you should sort of write a letter to the school administration because you are the closest to the school administration than the other students. You are the representatives of the students, so you should be like the voice of others. So then after I wrote and spoke to the school principal and other things, immediately we started including pads in first aid box, and since then they still do that.
Wow, let's take a moment to like commend Ireyimka for standing up for that in our community. And when she was in a leadership position, when this started happening. And I really want to say that's really, really very amazing of you, Ireyimka. And I wish I had done that because I was also in leadership position. But to be honest, I never even thought of that. And I really want to urge everyone here, if you are still in high school, take a stand for this. Make them introduce sanitary pads into the first aid box and everything. So thank you guys for contributing to this question. And I want to like talk about period poverty now. You know, it's something that is very, 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 very common. Like a lot of people can afford pads, and we all live in different countries, right? I really want to know what's really going on in your country with regards to this, and what is the government doing about it? Go on.
Okay, talking about period poverty, the government here in Nigeria, they are not helping at all. Because based on my research and that of my team, we actually read on, the cause of, the increase in price of pads. It's as a result of the tax rate on pad companies in Nigeria. Most people don't know about this. So when people just complain about inflation, 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 it's not just because of the inflation. Our economy also isn't helping. Prices of commodities are increasing, and because of that, the government increased the tax rate on all food, on all industries. So as they increase the tax rate, they will also need to increase the price to have their profits. And this is what, and we consumers are always at this. We always are we're always the ones suffering it later, and it's really affecting everyone. Most people can't even afford pads. Like just a normal pad, you see pad 1,000 naira. And with the way things are expensive now, not everyone can even. Some people survive on just 2,000 naira daily. The way poverty rates, inflation. Yes, I can even share personal experience. Yes, I also suffered from period poverty at the time, and it really affected me. And also, it affected my vaginal health. I think when at the time when things were not really really fine at home, and you know things were very very tough at home. Then I just started my period. When I even started my period, I didn't really start with pad. I started with old rag, like old clothes. I just cut them and used. Very funny. So then the first pad I used then was because the pad then they shared in our school, and always pad shared in our school. So that was the only pad I used then. It was until I got to hostel, I decided to change. I tried to save up. I saved and I used my allowance, my hostel allowance. I spent them on buying only pads. Like I didn't spend it on personal things, just on pads. That was the only time I could use pads. When time I'm at home, I just use towels or old drugs. And it really affected me, and it's affected my vaginal health. Most times I end up having yeast infections and other vaginal infections. And it's also part of period poverty. Aside from period poverty, it's not just period poverty alone, it's not just about pads, not being able to afford pads. It's also not being able to afford vaginal care, things you use for your vaginas. They are like some mild soaps they use for vagina, not just soap, natural soap, not normal soap. No, it's not good to use soap to care for the vagina. Like there are some specific soap they use and some other things. And also it also includes, changing your panties on these every 3 months. But most people don't know about it. Some of us, like, I'm also guilty. It takes me like a year before I change my panties, and so many people, and it really affects us. So it's also part of it. Most people can't really even afford changing their panties every 3 months because the way things are getting expensive daily.
Thank you so much. Ireyimika keeps dropping facts and some things that the government needs to look into. And one thing that really stood out for me for what you said is that period poverty is not just not being able to afford these female hygienic kits, but everything that has to do with your body as a girl. And I totally agree with that. And I feel like this is something that we really need to write in a letter to the government. To like, okay, do something. Yeah, just like, where is the Minister for Health or something? Thank you very much, Ireyimika, for that. Joy?
Yeah, so in Lebanon, period poverty has always been there. But with the economical crisis, people can barely afford bread and food and basic needs. So with the overpriced pads, like high quality pads are overpriced. So period poverty has increased so much in the past 2 years because of the economical crisis, and the government hasn't helped.
I totally agree with this. And I don't know if this would work, but I think an idea I have is that, okay, period making companies need to like make money, right? Doing those stuff. But I think the government should like fund them or remove taxes, stop taking taxes from them because it's really essential. Why even taxing them? So I think this is something that the government can do if possible. I think we should come up with a solution after the end of this meeting. And Jana,
I would also like to point out the idea that our government has subsidized many essential needs, including bread, sugar, fuel. But the fact that they didn't even think about subsidizing female hygienic pads is something really shameful. And also, this really sad reality is being even worse because we can see that over 70% of the female Lebanese citizens aren't able anymore to buy the same pads that they used to get before the economic crisis of 2019.
Meanwhile, the Spain government has given females during their period 3 days off. It's called period leave, I guess. And they put a law where it's necessary for schools to provide free menstrual products to girls in need.
I saw that in the I think social media. That was it Spain that did
Yes,
that, or Brazil or Spain? Spain,
it
I
was
think.
Spain.
Okay.
I said
Spain.
it was Spain.
When I saw that Spain did that, I was just like, when will Nigeria? It was like a dream. I don't think that can ever be possible. But this is something that is supposed to be possible. So I don't know what is making it impossible. So I don't know. This is something that really confuses me. I don't know. Before we move on, does anybody have anything to contribute to this annoying things the government do? Okay, thank you. Okay.
Well, I think another thing the government should also do, aside from funding part companies, which I think might not really be possible in this part of country, part of the world that I find myself in. So I think another thing they should focus on is reducing um the money for registration of NGOs, like NGOs that tackle things like this. Okay, like now, I also own an NGO. I co-founded an NGO with other friends of mine. I also focus on period discrimination and menstrual awareness. But then we're trying to we were researching on trying to get a CSC registration, which is Corporate Affairs Commission, to legalize it and to do things legally to make it recognized by the government. With my research, I realized that we have to pay over 100,000 naira just to make it official. Like what the hell? We are not governmental organizations, for crying out loud. We fund ourselves. And it's very, very, very annoying. Like, why do we have to pay over 100,000 just to get recognition from the government? And we also have to have a lawyer. And the lawyer will also get his our share. You can see the problem there. And that means we'll have to spend over almost 200,000 naira. So I think they should also focus on this. They should reduce the rate of for payment of Corporate Affairs Commission.
Okay, I think what Mika is trying to say is that just because you want to register, like for example, what Joy and Jana is currently doing for Flow, you want to register it and you have to pay massive amounts of money. Like, I'm trying to help. You should be like the one, like, I still have to pay, and that's really discouraging on its own. And I very, very much agree because you are trying to help and still you still have to like focus on doing this, and it's discouraging to those that really want to make a change. Thank you very much, Mika. So this question goes to Joy and Jana. I'm really, really very impressed by what you do. And I want to ask, why is it important that you guys do what you do?
Okay, so our job as the creators of Flow is very important just because we are helping our society just to get rid of this period stigma that has been around for, forever. And also to probably make this sad reality a bit better, and also just to help these families in need have access to these products until crisis will end or become a bit better.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of every girls that you've been helping, I want to say thank you because what you're doing is really, really inspiring, to be honest. You're trying to help females and please keep on doing it. And this brings me to the question. This was just out of the blue. Is there any problems that you would like come across trying to do this? And how do you think people can help?
I think one of the problems that we are facing, especially because of the problems with getting funding actually from other countries, is actually just having access to monies and help the emails. And I don't know how many people can actually help us in Lebanon just because of this economic depression. But probably if we tried to make a local funding and people could actually help us, that would be really amazing because we have so many families that need pads and they need support just from us because they don't really have access to these products anymore, which is really sad. So yeah.
Okay, I think that's one of the major problems, like lack of support and stuff like that. So if you're watching this and you know someone that can actually help these amazing teenagers, please share that work to them. Flo on Instagram, Flo dot please tell me your Insta hat again.
Let me drop it in the chat box.
Okay. So please follow them, and we need to support these young people because they're doing something amazing at such a young age. Oh, Mika, please go on.
No, it was a mistake.
Okay. So my question now goes to everyone. So yeah, on Instagram, flow.leb, Lebanon, Leb, L-E-B. So please follow them and support them, guys. So my next question is thrown to everyone. So this is a very important question that we need to think of. Why is there discrimination towards this stuff? Like, it's something that I keep asking myself, something natural. Why is it being discriminated? Like, I don't understand. So I think I need to ask you guys, why do you think there's discrimination in regards to like period and period poverty and stuff like that? Go ahead, Miriam.
I think one of the reasons like all this discrimination takes place is because of superstition beliefs. I don't know what mindset people have, the outdated belief, and they try to make period menstruation an abnormal thing. They will say that women who get treated as hygienic, they just try to seclude them, and they are told to like stay away from places, public places, and etc. So one thing that is bringing all this is superstitional beliefs and taboos, like that comes from the beliefs which people have. So I think that's the main thing which causes all this to happen on the issue of menstruation.
Okay, guys, if you truly understand what she said, she really dropped something powerful because it has like gone back, like far back to these beliefs and taboos that has been associated with periods. And it's just even in the modern society that we live in, those beliefs are still trending. So they'd be like, okay, if you're having menstruation, you need to hide, you need to isolate yourself. So it's mostly beliefs and these taboos that have been associated from the beginning and still at work now, making it seem very shameful. So yeah, totally agree with you, Mariam. Yorinka?
Oh, like my answer maybe because of beliefs, what their cultures, and there are so many different cultures around the world, and most cultures that I know of actually see menstruation. They have so many taboos surrounding period. They have so many taboos surrounding menstruation. You know, they have so many taboos like guy, and you shouldn't let a guy touch you. And you might end up getting pregnant. But still, maybe like period because when you just go out, I mix up with guy and it's a boy, and end up touching him, and you might get pregnant, and all those things are just a way. They just these superstitions just exist to scare off girls, like to scare them and make them lonely, and they're more like it's more like a segregation because most times they just allow girls stay
Okay, I think
on their
Ray.
own period. So someone be calling me.
Okay, I think what Mika is trying to say is that the taboo that's been associated with it, just like Miriam said, and the superstitions. Because I still remember in Nigeria, once you get your first period as a girl, they will tell you don't go near any boy, don't even shake his hands, don't hug anybody, or else you get pregnant. And that is absolutely crazy. And that is some of the things that just contribute to this discrimination. So yeah, definitely agree, Yemika. So my
I also have one more point. Like one thing that is also been on is this bullying thing. Like this like make this anonymous and they try to bully
girls. For
in
instance, if you're in high school, so like if for instance your clothes or something get dirty and then a guy sees you, so sometimes girls get bullied on that issue, and then this brings more discrimination, stigmatization, and all that stuff. So another point will be that discussing it vaguely, like period is not discussed openly. So by not speaking openly about this topic, makes this issue of discrimination go on for ages. So we have to start discussing about periods openly, and we have to normalize it's very
Okay, Mariam said we should start discussing about this more openly, and I definitely agree. But to be honest, it kind of like feel weird. To be honest, like even if you speak about it openly, you still get bullied, like on the in the comments and stuff like that. So it's really, really very hard to talk about this issue. But we will definitely agree with what you said, Mariam, and I think we should start talking about this discrimination more often. Anybody has anything else to add?
patient. You say that if we like discussing about period makes it like weird. So like this making it weird, being awkward, like talking about it open. This is what makes this issue of discrimination go on and go on. So like we as girls, we have to take a step now, and men, boys, everyone else, they have to be educated that period is normal. Like they shouldn't start bullying girls and everything, and as well, like they should, their sisters, everyone is getting period, so it's normal, and yeah, it's part of a life cycle.
Thank you very much, Miriam. So Miriam just like told you guys about those people who feel like if they talk about it, they're going to get insulted.
So we need to
Sorry, did you guys hear me?
I didn't.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll repeat that. So, like Miriam said, anyone that feels like if they talk about it, they're going to get bullied. So, continue with that. Continue. The more we continue, the more they feel like, okay, these people are not really taking a chance. And the more we talk about it, the more it feels more normal because it's supposed to be normal in the first place. Um, Okay, so I have a question from Joy and Jana, since they are mostly like closely related to this mission. So what is your advice for any girls, maybe you come across these girls when you were like distributing those kits and she was like suffering from discrimination and period poverty? What do you advise them to do? And what are the like things you think they can be able to do to manage these like kind of emotions that arises from mental health issues?
Okay, so first of all, our job is to give them period kits and encourage them to speak up about this discrimination or stigma.
I would like to add the idea that by refusing to speak openly about this subject, we are perpetuating the idea that uh, speaking openly about periods is something that's unacceptable, and we should use veiled terminology such as the curse, that time of the month, or other terminology. So just speaking openly, confident is something to not shame. This is basically one of the ways that we exist because it's a part of our reproductive system. So yes, this is something really normal, and we should talk about it more often. And just we should acknowledge that the fact that our society is won't be always acceptive of this topic, but just talking about it, making this initiative, taking the first step will lead to a wiser community and to a community that is more accepting of period.
Thank you very much, Jana. You just did like a very, very beautiful speech right now and love it. So we are about to conclude with just one final question that is thrown to everyone. I want everyone to contribute this time. What is the ideal solution for this problem? What is something that we should, after this meeting, we should go on to do to solve this problem? Let's start from you, Miriam.
What I would suggest that the first step we could take is to spread awareness. We should educate everyone, including young girls, and also we should give the education on periods to all genders, including men, women, everyone. And also the second step, because in order to run this programs for supporting people, for supporting young girls, and to eradicate period poverty. So we need funds, and if we need funds, we need to run campaigns, and this will enable to make everyone aware about this activities happening in order to support young girls. So I have two suggestions. One is spreading awareness, and the other one is to run campaigns in order to get funds.
Thank you very much, Miriam. So we just got one solution, spreading awareness. Thank you very much. That must be on our list right now. Ireyimika, any solution you have?
Yes. So aside from creating awareness, I feel like individual, right? Either we have an organization or not, we also stand as examples individually, and we will find ourselves like we also stand out as menstrual health advocates, to be precise. So when we all find ourselves, like just pick up and we're not so by that way, when other girls like us see us picking up and see us taking actions, when they see us, helping people or doing the way helping in the little way we can, they'll also be interested and they'll also want to join the movement. And by that, the campaign against period discrimination will spread and it will increase. So many people will be involved as long as you keep pushing and you ensure that you are also doing it individually.
So I think we can conclude that the right education and awareness is the first solution to fight period poverty, alongside campaigns and the government's job. Education is the first solution, because if we do not know about periods, if we do not know that it's normal, then we are not going to get there. We are not going to get to anything. So I think we can conclude that the right education and awareness